Evaluate the limit as x approaches negative infinity of the square root of x squared minus 3x divided by 2x plus 5. So we're going to look for the highest power in the denominator that we can divide by, and we see an x here. So the trick is you're going to want to divide everything by x. And again, keep writing the limit out front up until we actually take the limit. So this is the limit as x approaches negative infinity of, and so on the bottom we're going to have 2x divided by x plus 5 divided by x, and upstairs, well, I'm going to write the 1 over x outside here first because we need to figure out how to bring it inside of a square root. So here's the trick. We know that if x is less than 0, then we can say that x is the same thing as the negative square root of x squared. So think about that. Suppose x were 2. Well, we'd have to make a negative, so how about negative 2? You can make negative 2. Is that the same thing as saying negative the square root of negative 2 squared? Well, negative 2 squared is 4. The square root of 4, that's 2. And so, yeah, this is the same thing. Negative 2 does equal negative 2. It works. That's not a proof of this, but it should give you a little bit more confidence in this statement right here that we're going to end up using. So if I want to turn an x into something that has a square root, and x is less than 0, I can make it the negative of the square root of x squared. Now, why am I concerned about x being less than 0? Well, look at the limit. X is approaching negative infinity. X is going to be a negative number. It's going to be a really, really big negative number. So this is the same thing as saying the limit, and again, keep writing limit up until you actually take the limit, of x approaching negative infinity of negative 1 over the square root of x squared times the square root of x squared minus 3x. And in the denominator, we're going to have 2 plus 5 over x, if I cancel those x's there. Okay, so now I can take, or I can write a limit, haven't taken the limit yet, as x approaches negative infinity of. So I'm going to have a minus sign, and then I'm going to have the square root of. So I'm going to have x squared divided by x squared. That's going to be 1 minus 3x divided by x squared. That's going to be 3 over x. And then that's divided by 2 plus 5 over x. Okay, so what does that equal? Well, as x goes into negative infinity here, that means x is going to be a really, really big negative number. This thing right here is going to go to 0 because 3 over negative a million or negative a billion, that's a really tiny number. You can imagine x getting really, really big in the negative direction. That's going to make this fraction really, really small overall. Same thing with this one right here. So we're going to end up getting negative of the square root of 1 minus a 0 for that, divided by 2. Well, the square root of 1 is 1, and so this is just negative 1/2.